everyone, Janine from PhilAndTomPlus.com, and we're here for our Thursday night podcast. Tom, episode what?
40 or something, I don't know.
Something like that. Hope you've all had a good week. So tonight we have here with us on board
Tom.
And Phil. And we do absolutely no preparation. Is that what happens here?
It's because it's a
really,
chat.
That's right, it's a chat. It's hard for me to get my head around
I don't understand
the
it.
chat.
God, how much content do we have to create that's all about teaching and stuff? Jesus.
Oh,
Are you talking about
that's
just
a bit of a grumpy
I wanna
bum
Make
comment.
it a point.
No,
Just
I
a
wanna
grumpy
just
bum
hear
comment.
Look, before you
You
guys
talk-
get started, I will fight you both right
Yeah.
now.
But are you talking
Whoa.
that little comment you made before? Are you talking about craft cheeses or Lord cheeses?
I said Jesus, okay? Now, if you're
Right,
offended
well,
by
that's
that... Oh, see, this is the part where you really got to clean it up.
No, I'm trying to say, you mentioned Jesus' name. Are you talking about craft cheeses?
I'm talking
or
about the man
Lord
upstairs,
cheeses?
JC. Yeah?
Oh, right. Okay, fair enough.
Am I allowed to say that? I'm not allowed to say
Yeah,
that.
you can say that, I guess.
Okay,
I
anyway.
can't remember what you said. Did you actually say?
I said the word Jesus. Apparently everybody's going to be offended by that.
Oh.
I was just qualifying by saying you talking about craft cheeses or Lord
You
cheeses.
can't censor you can't censor yourself. There's a line.
See, sometimes, people say this and they say you can't censor yourself, and I just want to know what industry they're in and how they make their money first before, because I think that's the qualification. So, who is this person and how did they make their
Dad,
money?
isn't it? Didn't we sit down here and do our client avatar? Didn't we do that? Did we do that?
Yeah, we did.
And
Yep.
didn't we say we were looking for people like us?
Yeah.
So, is it fair to say that the people out there just like us, that speak just like us, speak as much crap, are as rough as us? Is that
I
true?
would
Is
say
that fair to say?
That's dangerous territory. I'd say we're an extreme case, and there's really
That is
nobody
not
like
true.
us.
I
There's
can tell
nobody
you-
like us.
There absolutely is. I can tell you, somebody posted a reaction of the grand final last year,
Yeah.
right? And one of them said something that we always say, that
Right.
you would think is only what we say. It's
Politically
not.
incorrect.
Exactly, something politically incorrect. They said it, just like that. And you know what? 13-year-old girl, parents around, didn't even care.
It's the
So
footy.
we are just
what are you
like
talking about?
we
It's
are
the
just
footy.
like everybody
Well, I'll
else.
just say
So
last
if
night
that is the point,
I was watching this
then
show.
it doesn't matter if we
cut me
say,
off at the knees and call me
well, I
a
hadn't
cop.
finished my
He
point.
hadn't finished what he was saying.
So if that's true, then we don't have to worry about offending anybody, because if we offend them, they don't want to
No,
be
I
with us
don't
anyway.
think I don't think I want to. It's not a. It's just who you are and how you conduct yourself.
It's not about going out to offend.
And so
it's about
therefore,
just about being yourself.
if I'm swearing, I'll swear in the inner circle. I'm not going to swear to people that I don't know. I don't feel like doing that. I don't go out in the street and just start swearing. I don't go to work and start talking about F and C. I don't do that. But you're my inner circle. So, okay, in my house, in my four walls type thing.
You know
I'll
what? I can
swear.
agree with that in a one-on-one situation, or if you're meeting people face to face. But when you're online and you're broadcasting, I disagree. You just have to let it go.
Well, Mike Koenigs, he doesn't conduct himself like that. Mark Hoverson doesn't conduct himself like that. Rattle them off. Mark Gillett.
But they're not
don't talk
us.
about it. I know, but that's true. But we actually don't know. I don't know.
Dad, let me tell you something. You know what you say all the time? It drives me nuts. I just know. I just know. I just know.
I'm not.
This guy.
This guy. What do you mean? I just know.
You say that all the time. I
Do I?
just know. And that's how you say it. I just know. Do you, Dad? No, do you really? Well, let me tell you something. I just know. Okay, I just know. You've got to be yourself. And if anybody's offended, great, because that qualifies them and it gets them away. But people who are like us, who we're looking for, how many people out there are just like us? Rough families, just like us. All of them.
Why do you say we're rough?
Rough family.
I'm talking about just the swearing and stuff like that.
Where
They
did that
have
come
never
from?
ever seen.
Where does that all come from? How did that sort
What?
of?
Comes from your
where's
side
it?
of the family,
Well, the
not
swearing
mine.
stuff.
It comes from my
But
side of the
if
family.
they see that, another rough family, they're not going to, just like you said, they're going to be listening to Koenigs, Hobus and stuff. They're not going to see any of it. But then they find us, and we're just completely ourselves. We're completely like them. They're just going to be like, these guys, I want to work with these guys, because they are no bullshit. They can help me. I've seen their education. Thank you for that. Oh, and look at this.
We're not
They're
that
just
good.
normal people.
No bullshit.
I just know.
Well, I'll also also qualify that by saying, the more I know, the less I know.
Just saying.
Because, do you get my, have a picture there. Hear that? Three yes, right? So really, the way that I would explain my intelligence is with the acronym, not your acronym, we'll talk about that acronym, but the way I would explain my intelligence is DADS. D-A-D-S, okay? That's my intelligence.
And what's DADS? This is going to be a beauty.
No,
I can
I'm just saying,
see
that's really,
this.
and I'm basically pretty well, behind most of the human race, but I still have a few wins on the board, that's all right, but really, my intelligence would be described as DADS.
And what is that?
Get on, Dad. Look, let me tell you the art of comedy,
Right,
Dad.
right.
It's meant to be snappy. A punchline's meant to be snappy.
Do you
You
reckon
said,
this is a
Dad,
joke?
5 minutes ago. Get on with the
Well,
punchline.
The thing that I'm trying to explain to you is
This
the issue
guy.
of curiosity, okay?
Oh,
So
curiosity.
people get curious about what
No,
is
people
DADS.
aren't curious.
They're
They
curious.
just, I've asked you twice. They want to know what Dad's is. They've turned off.
Have
Okay?
they turned off? have
I've
they?
turned off. I
They've
don't
turned
know
off.
anymore.
We don't want to know what Dad's is anymore.
Okay.
So just tell us
No,
what Dad's
no,
is.
you don't want to know anymore. So
I want to know now.
You want to know?
Go ahead.
Okay, well, it basically stands for as dumb as dog shit. That is me. What do you think, Coco? Coco, you listening? Mm-hmm. That's our little dog there.
Dad,
As dumb as dog shit.
that's great. But let me tell you, I just know, okay?
That is what? A
Gideon,
dad?
Gideon Shellwack, he did a video a couple of months ago. Big guy on the internet, and what did he say? He said the future of online video is live. Live video.
Mm.
So he's predicting the trends,
Well, okay, I like that.
right?
But I'm just
Now,
trying
so I'm predicting the trends now. The way the world is going,
Mm.
with so much video, because I'm on it for Yummy Cereal.
Mm.
And you might say that's entertainment, that's different. No, I disagree. What it is all about is completely being yourself. And you can see when I'm looking at the comments and stuff, when somebody is just a millimetre fake, you can tell straight away. And people fucking ravage them. They attack them like a pack of hungry dogs. It's brutal.
Would you mind not using the word them in front of your mother,
What
please?
did I just say then? It was bad. I swear so much I don't even notice anymore. What did I say?
I can't even remember.
When he's been, you can
I've
tell.
got Alzheimer's. What's your name again?
You can tell when Tom's been on. It was like last week. He came out and we did the podcast after he'd done a yummy
I listened to that. It
cereal.
was like nails on a blackboard for me, my God.
Oh, this guy.
This
guy.
I mean,
But you can tell when he's been doing a few of them because his swearing just goes up just a fraction.
Yeah, I do swear.
Gut
well,
him
really,
out.
I think,
Gut him out.
I think, I've always thought that swearing is really, it's just a set of words, and it's the context and how it's used. And so, I mean, I'm not against swearing. I think I tell you what I probably don't like, I probably don't, if I was on the train or something like that and someone started F&C'ing, I probably don't like it.
So it's all that old saying, there's a time and a place.
Maybe time and place, yeah. Maybe.
This, I believe, and I could be wrong,
Mm.
I'm willing to be wrong, but there's a time and a place for that, and I feel like it's now. Because you're broadcasting, you got to be yourself. That's what I think.
Yeah, I know, but you still have to think. I think you still have to. I'm trying to think of a word to sort of explain what I mean.
Look, I'm being
You
myself
have
by
to,
swearing,
yes,
but there's
you've got to
certain
be
things.
discerning as
There's
well.
certain things, for example, when I'm with my mates.
Yes,
I'm
we
an
know.
animal. I'm just an
We
animal.
don't need to know
If
that.
people heard what I said there, I'd be sent to prison. we would be arrested on the spot. Okay?
So you take it to a new level with your mates.
Oh, it's just filthy. It's disgusting. We're animals.
Mm.
So there's
Yeah,
certain
but-
things we're not going to say there, but swearing, come on.
Mm.
That's.
Well,
Yeah, but
last night on the television they had this show. This is Australia.
Australia.
It's Australia, right?
Right.
SBS. They had a show called Struggle Street, and so I was flicking and the odd thing there, and they had the whole thing F&Cs. But through the whole thing, they had this guy who was commenting on his situation, and it was F&C this and F&C that. So yeah, that's in mainstream TV, today.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I
And
wouldn't
they
say yes,
they had in the paper last week that it blew the ratings away. Basically, people well, I guess they want to know I don't know what it is.
Well, people blew the ratings away, meaning they went down.
Sorry.
The
No, the
ratings went down.
the ratings.
No, I'm not
didn't.
saying that. I'd never heard of this show called Struggle Street.
Yeah.
So I was on looking at my political show last night, and I was flicking, and there's that show Struggle Street. I heard about it because they said it. It won the ratings. On its first show.
Well, isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
People who are effing seeing.
We're talking fish and chips here, right?
Yeah.
What we had the other night.
Yeah. And people who are going off like that, and it's a success. Well, look at that. Didn't I just say that's the way it was going?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, YouTube's taken over the world. Not taken over the world, taken over TV.
Well,
It's very interesting. All the
why?
TV programs, like for example, like the actual comedy shows, not scripted comedy shows, but like all the talk shows and stuff, which are all they're change every week. They're on YouTube.
Yeah.
And they upload their clips on YouTube, and they're always trying to get a viral video. They're trying to get a touch of that market.
Well, I'll tell you just on what we've been talking about with because our messaging, and I was just listening to Mark Thompson on the TV talking about his, they're saying, how do you get Essendon to play like that? How do you get them to do that? And he was talking about, basically the messaging. It's the consistency of the messaging, and he's saying, you've got to let the players know that they have the permission to play like that, and I'll take the rap. So don't worry about making mistakes, just, the messaging. So what's our messaging? We help visionary families and a few emerging entrepreneurs to use video to build a brand online. That's it. That's our messaging, basically. So you're talking about video, Gideon Shalwick. The future of video is live, and I like that. I think, wow, that's basically, people who want to build a business online, long-term, sustainable, all this sort of stuff. If it comes back to that idea, if you think you're going to hide behind your computer, and that's not going to cut it. You might make a few sales. You might even get lucky, and get some, big commissions. But it's not going to cut it long-term. So we really should, we pat ourselves on the back because we stepped out. Janine made her first video. When I say her first, I'll call it
Solo.
education type video. She'd previously made quite successfully fun relationship building videos.
And this was her first solo video.
Yeah, and I was only talking to Mum Janine the other day about there was a product that was all about animation videos, which interests me hugely. In terms of the things you can say. In fact, I thought that I'd love to do that, and that's because you quite, we talk about, our jokes and jocularity and little things, but I could become a character in a cartoon, you know what I mean? And, express my favourite terms, in terms of endearment, like, when Dennis Norgate gave me the secret to life. No, I'm just saying, he gave me the secret to life, and he said, the secret to life, I was 10 years of age and I've never forgotten it, I'm now 55. And he said, mate, if you want to succeed in life, and you don't want to end up shoveling shit out of a dead canary's ass, make sure you get a good education. A bit like that. So, education is the key. And sure, we can go down standard education, we talk about self-education, we waffle on about that, but in essence, part of the problems of the world, you look at some of the crap that goes on, it's really, people are not educated, and they think I call it lowbrow.
And let's qualify that, and you did say it, but I want to make it a point, is that we're not talking about standard education.
We're talking about...
And when we say standard education, we mean school. Primary school, high school,
yeah, it's
university.
the traditional thing. But what I was going to say to you was, and this is something we can take into the weekend, or even tonight, I'm not sure what you want to do, but I was reading the paper just now, and there was a topic on Johnny Depp / entertainer / celebrity, and it was all about how he's coming to Australia
with his puppies,
like that. So I would like to do a video. If I don't know, you keep talking to me about, I think, is it trending, is it newsjacking, something like that, and it's
trend jacking.
Trend jacking. That's exactly what I said.
The term. Let's get it right.
Yeah. So basically, so what I can do is I can take that. I can take that story now in less than 2 minutes, and I can transition it. I can connect the dots.
If you want to do a video, let's do a video. Because
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see.
Yeah. That's my
put
point.
it up, how many views it gets.
Yeah, that's my point. That's my point. I'd like to do that. And so, for the people that are listening out there, that's not how we started. This is how we think today, but that is not how we started. all you'd have to do to see how we started, I mean, my God, I think we've got our first video on our philandtomplus.com under About Us. I think it's there. I'm not sure our first video.
We have, well, it's called our first video, but it's not actually our first.
It
Well,
might be
actually, you know what?
might be our second
I
video.
think it is our first video that we put online.
It's not that far off it.
I think it's our first video we put online. It's not the first video.
I remember the one you referred to where we took 17 takes, and that we were in that little room and with the computer, and I can remember that, and I'm thinking, and I had no idea what the fuck are we doing here.
Yeah.
Please excuse the word what.
Why are you excusing it? Did we have this conversation?
I'm excusing the word what.
But you know what's interesting? If you actually go back and look at those videos, and when we're talking about messaging and everything else like that, if you go back and look at the really old videos, right, the really terrible ones.
They're that terrible.
They're pretty bad.
No, they're not that bad. I mean, really, they're not that bad. You know,
I'm
you go.
talking about the quality of the video. I'm not talking about the video
Not even the
itself.
quality. You know, you
Anyhow,
go back and
could
you
I just cut me off the knees,
and call
right?
me a snail. That's the joke. If you're a guy, it's cut me off at the knees and call me a tripod. If you're a woman, it's cut me off at the knees and call me a snail. Now the reason is
Shotgun here. Could I finish what I was saying?
I got all the big joke shots.
Yeah, you don't have them.
Just take 4 hours.
Because they're not funny. What I was going to say is when we were talking about the messaging, if you actually go back and look at the original videos, right, our messaging in its raw basic content about the reason why you're building an online business and all the pitfalls and all that
For the hookers.
that stuff, it really has not changed.
No, I don't.
The fundamentals have not changed.
No.
So the way we deliver our message might have changed. Like
Yeah,
obviously
it's
we got
evolved.
better about video, we got better about content, and we've got other things like we do a podcast, etc., etc. But our messaging has not really changed. So maybe that is the key. Your messaging has to be congruent and consistent
See, right
Speaking
now,
of
and
old
genuine.
stuff,
Congruent, consistent,
I'm always
genuine.
aware that there's a person out there listening to this, and they're going, "What the fuck? I mean, how does this relate to me?" And I guess before I know you want it to be
But
conversational.
we're not going to relate to everybody
I know,
every single
but
time.
I guess one of the secrets is, it's not even a secret, but it is to learn, to master, to start to do video. Man, I don't know what else to say. Here you are talking about the future of video is live video. And so it's something that people can actually, I believe, it's like when I went to that thing last year and it was about speaking from stage. Now that's intimidating to me, right? But they explained to me, they said, look, this is something that you can learn to do. And I'm going, oh yeah, right, this will be interesting. So I've been learning that. And depending on where you're at in your world, in your life, you might think different things about that. But video can be a very intimidating thing because people they're not only unsure of themselves, they don't have confidence in themselves possibly, but you can start to do it and you can build it over a period of, remember that guy? He sort of, Terry Lamb, and give it 18 months basically. That's a nice figure. Give something 18 months and try to be consistent over
And
18
congruent.
months.
That's going to be my new word.
Well-
Consistent, congruent. What was the other one? Message I said?
I mean, you
whatever
look
I
at,
said.
I find it amazing that I now have an opinion on how to build a business online, whereas a couple of years ago I didn't actually, I don't know what to do. But now, because I've invested in different education, I've learned stuff. And that's all we do is we just project what we learn and then implement. That's a nice thing. And people can do that for what it's worth.
Well, fortunately or unfortunately, in this industry, you will never know everything and you will always be learning.
No, I mean, and that's an interesting thing with it.
Because it's such an interactive business.
The industry is always going to continue to evolve. But you look at, different industries out there, the medical profession. Sometimes I wonder, how do doctors keep up with the changes in the medical profession? They have to put in an effort. Look, right now, the government, they changed laws on tax, and the poor old accountants have got to go. It's like they've got to keep abreast of all these.
Yeah, but what about
changes.
and then you're talking about
Look at
profession.
footy.
Yeah,
Look
but
at where, say, footy's evolved.
Profession, but not just professions.
My head boggles at how footy's played today compared to when I played it. My God, this is such a. I mean, players actually have to think today.
And
not
most
just-
importantly, Dad, while we're on this subject, it's like an off subject. I'm just changing the subject here for a second. Because they're so good today, they're fitter, they're stronger, they're faster, they're smarter. How much do you think the current team of Essendon would beat the 1985 Essendon team? How much do you think they would win by?
This team today,
Yeah.
it's a great thing. Wouldn't you love to see them? Wouldn't you love? First of all, I truly don't know the answer.
Well, there is no answer. It's an opinion.
Yeah, it's an opinion. But imagine if you could bring together those two sides and they play. This is the question: who would win? So
Who's-
Well,
today,
there's no real question.
today's
Who's,
side.
well, who's
It's
bet?
who would win. How much would they win by?
Yeah.
Is the question.
I'll
I
tell you
don't
what.
know.
I'm going to stick my neck out here. I'm going to stick my neck out,
Who's
and
got-
I'm going to say today's side would beat that side.
That's sticking your neck
That's
out.
sticking your neck out.
Yeah.
That's not sticking your neck
How
out.
is it sticking your neck out at all?
Well, there's a shitload of people out there that will be. I'm trying to picture. I'm trying to
Are
picture.
you insane? Have
Well,
you
what's
lost
your
your mind? The Essendon team of today would win by like 200 points.
Now
It'd be
you're
a
being
massacre.
ridiculous.
That's a
Now
big-
you're
It
being
would be a
ridiculous.
massacre.
You're being
That's
ridiculous.
a big call.
If you go back and just look at football from 2000,
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
see how open it is.
yeah.
Players today defend the entire ground.
Yeah, sure.
It's just be a massacre. And you look at how good the players' skills are today, and that's with the pressure that is put on.
Yeah, look, maybe you could be right. So
In 2000, in 1985, there was no pressure. There was zero pressure put on. It would be a training drill.
like,
A training drill.
excuse me for trying to interrupt while you.
Not to mention the midfield. It'd just be a massacre. I'd love to see it, just to put all those stupid old people. Oh, in my day, footy was tougher. Yeah, you know what? You'd lose by 200 points. It would be a massacre. Matter of fact, who's on the bottom of the ladder right now?
I don't know.
Brisbane?
Yeah,
I think it's
I
Brisbane.
think it's Brisbane.
Brisbane would destroy 1985 Essendon. Destroy them.
Yeah,
That'd be 100
I
points.
don't know about that one, but anyway.
You need to go back. You need to look at football of today. You need to watch them right next to each other. Football of today, watch the highlights of the Hawthorn game, right? And then watch same teams. Watch 1985. See who would win. See the difference. The speed. The skill. Oh, when I look at 1985, I just look at, did they train at all? Did they just pick up a ball? I mean, how are you dropping the ball? You look like an idiot. It just makes no
It's
sense.
Very harsh. Yeah.
Oh, well,
It's a great
it's-
conundrum.
It's not a conundrum at all. It'd be a massacre.
So tell me this: without of all of this, why do we have players today that can't kick?
Well, we don't have play. Who? Tell me who. I just said, Mum.
Within 20 to 40 metres out from goal, you should never, you
Let me
should
tell
not
you this.
miss. You're
Let me tell you this.
professional
I'll tell you.
footballers.
Here we go. You're a professional footballer. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you a big difference right now. Matthew Lloyd, 2000. What did he do? He sat in the goal square, waited for the ball to be about what?
20 metres away.
80 metres out. Then he made a lead. It's his whole game. It's his whole game. Joe Danaher, Jake Carlo. That's not their whole game.
No, I know they have to do
run
the
up
running.
and back and up
Yeah.
and back and up and back. Not to mention, because of our crap delivery, they have to run, while they're defending up here, they have to run all the way back, and then when they get all the way back, their job's not done, then they have to try to lead up again. They're fucking running their asses off.
That's got nothing to do with kicking the
Yes,
ball.
it does. You
Not
tell
from
me,
a
Matty
stand-
Lloyd
not
just
from
took
a-
a Sunday stroll, and now he's having a few shots in the park. Joe Danaher and Jake Carlo have just run a fucking marathon.
But shouldn't they be able to do that with their training? If you're saying,
My point is, Mum, it's a hell of a lot harder. Even
I'm not
goal kicking
saying-
today is a hell of a lot
I'm
harder.
not saying
Because
it
they're
isn't.
more fatigued.
Because they're way more fatigued. Now give me another point, Mum, and I'll splat that
Well,
out
I
of you
don't.
too.
I don't think that you slap me down on that. I'm just asking. I don't understand that.
Now let's-
Fair
what
enough.
about-
When they're on the run, they're tired and whatever else.
What
when
about
they're
field kicking, Mum?
set
The
shot?
skill, it would just be the massacre. It would literally be a training drill. The pressure that they have to kick under now is so intense. It's so hot, And then you just go back to 2000 when we were the best side in the league, and you look at how open the game is, the ground. I can't even believe how it was just so uncongested. It's incredible.
By
I
the way,
go back and
everybody,
look at
when
those
he
highlights
says
and I just think,
when we were so good, he's talking about Essendon.
I just go back and look at those highlights, and you know what I think? I think and a lot of people won't agree with me, I love the game today. I love how many tackles there are. I love how physical it is.
Have a look at her face. She walks in and she just goes, "Go." It's all the
Eloise,
7 or 7:30.
Eloise, let me ask you a question, right? A modern person, a person of today, thank you. How much would the now don't joke around, I want a serious answer. How
He's
much
being serious.
would the team of
No,
Essendon...
can I just, you got to rephrase your question.
No. Okay, well, who would win? And by how much by? Essendon of 2015 or Essendon of 1985?
100 points today's team.
Thank you. Thank you.
Did-
A
did
bit
you-
of a
did-
brain.
did
We
you
have
want-
a brain in the
Do you want
family.
to consider that? Do you want to think?
She answered it.
Here we go.
Fitness alone, you idiots, will just completely destroy
Thank
the
you.
opposition.
Not to mention, you know what they're having after games in 1985? They're having a beer and a smoke after a game. What the fuck is that?
They were doing it at half time.
Do you know
What are you talking
AFL
about?
players,
Your
they have
team's
to
in the
have
fridge.
they have to have wellness cards?
Yeah, they do, yeah.
I was watching a pre-season of North Melbourne video. This was like a couple of years ago. It was like 3 years. They were following Majak Daw, right? Who, as we know, is a spud, right? He had, I think it was like a 12-hour training day. This is in pre-season, mind you. 12 hours.
Really?
He has a fucking skill session, then they go all this running session. Then he has to go and do weights and cardio. Then he has to go have a swim. It
It's
was
the same day.
Oh, it's and what, because the video was about how would a normal person cope with pre-season training. So they had their like social media manager do it with Majak Daw, and he was throwing up, and he couldn't get through the training. He had to leave early. It was like a 12-hour training day. And you're telling me beer and smokes guys who train for 30 minutes on a fucking weekend is going to beat these guys? It's fucking like David versus Goliath. It's not going to happen. Anyway,
That's your considered opinion. And on that note, everybody,
Mum, well, who would win? Who do you think would
I
win?
reckon the team of today would
And how much by?
probably 100 points,
Yeah, well,
10
thank-
goals.
10 goals.
But I don't think I do. Yeah,
You want
10
to
goals.
get, if you on social media, get that going, that'll light them up.
That'd
What'll
be
light 'em up? I missed that.
If somebody says 1985, I would be back. Well, I think Lenny says 1985.
Yeah, he'd
I've
say
asked
that.
him
He'd-
before. It's
he'd-
like, are you kidding
Don't
me?
even ask. That's
He
ridiculous.
once said
That's
to
ridiculous.
me
Please
that
don't.
a dude's team could have beaten AFL, an Essendon team, in a certain time period. I'm
Yeah,
like,
there was
are
a
you
period. No, there was a
kidding?
period there where they didn't have a
No,
good team.
Dad, I don't care how good the team is. It's freaking Suburbia versus AFL. Best players in the country.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay, on
we should
that
wrap it
note-
up there on
that note,
tangent.
everybody, and Tom's had his little rant about the football and
I
everything else.
I am for the modern people, because everybody's always saying, "Oh, your generation sucked."
Mm-hmm.
Shut up, you dickhead! Fucking smack you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the podcast. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Louise, do you want to